I felt like they were going to pass away quite soon, that I have to drip a tear from my own eye onto this person's forehead. Like when you've had a near-death experience, when I first entered a man's body, how I was very aware of their anatomy. No, we don't do that. I am the planet Jupiter. No, you don't channel planets. And it completely freaked me out. Sometimes it's just too much, and that is a little bit much. Shocked that I've actually just shared that. Why? That's not normal, or who does that?
Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to the Medium's Table. I'm your host, Michelle Gardner. This podcast is your personal invitation to join me at the intersection of the everyday and the extraordinary. Together, we'll explore the magic of mediumship, share spiritual stories, and connect with fellow mediums on this incredible journey. So grab a seat, pour yourself a cuppa, and come join us at the Medium's Table, where spirits gather and stories unfold. I'd like to welcome back to the show Emilia. Now, Emilia has already done a previous episode, so if you haven't seen it, I'm going to put the link below to the YouTube video that you can watch. But welcome back, Emilia, and it is so good to have you back because your stories have me always on the edge of my seat.
Well, thank you. Good to be back. Hopefully I can share some interesting stories today again.
Yeah, no pressure, but they've got to be good. No, I was only joking. No, okay, they're always fascinating and unique, and that's what I love about when you share. It's like some of them I know and there's a lot that I don't. And as we discussed in the previous episode, it's like, how do I not know this? We've known each other for decades. Like, where have you been hiding this story? But it's really great to have it be out in the open right here, right now, with the viewers and listeners. So what have you got for us today?
Well, I was thinking back to what we discussed previously, and obviously I'm not practicing much at this moment because I'm caring for my elderly parents, so that keeps me very busy. And part of me even doing this, apart from you asking me, was that I have a wealth of experience that feels like a lifetime ago. I did a lot of things when I was younger, and I haven't been practicing a lot of those things now, so it makes me feel like I'm still a part of it, and I'm re-energized with my own stories and hearing other people's, and feel like I'm getting involved again, and I love that. And hopefully, because I've been out of the loop a little bit, I can start to harness those muscles or make those muscles stronger again so that I can start using them and benefiting people again. But maybe I can benefit people by just sharing some stories that, to be honest, if they hadn't have happened to myself, I would really struggle to believe them because they're just so out there, even for me. I'm a bit of a skeptic. And, some of the things that have happened to me in the past that I kind of don't normally share with anyone, but I'm going to share with you today.
Ooh, good.
Because they kind of even freaked me out a little bit. So, I'm thinking back to this one in particular when I was first learning psychic massage. Obviously part of psychic massage is listening to your intuition and seeing what happens because, I'd just be open to whatever happens. So I'm treating a friend of mine who, I knew pretty well, but not that well. So I'm doing a massage, and there's a sort of protocol that you follow on the body, and suddenly, I'm at the knee and I'm getting, you need to go to the head. And I'm thinking, well, you don't normally go back to the head, like, I don't know, I think we started at the head, I can't remember. And I'm thinking, why do I'm talking to myself in my head, or, whoever is, impressioning these thoughts onto my head, because they certainly weren't mine. I wasn't thinking I have to go back to the head area. And then I get this feeling or thoughts of what I have to do. And it's the most bizarre thing, and I'm feeling even a little bit uncomfortable saying it, but I hear that I have to drip a tear from my own eye onto this person's forehead. And I'm like, you don't do that. I mean, that's, occupational health and safety And, that's germs. That's unhygienic. No, we don't do that. No, that's not a possibility. That's just the craziest thing. Go away. I'm not listening. And I'm still trying to massage the leg and the knee or whatever I was doing, trying to ignore. And it's just getting stronger and stronger in my head. And I'm thinking, oh, my God, it's not going away. So I end up going to the head thinking, well, maybe I could just, with intention, just put my hands on the side of the head and hold it. And I'm getting, no, you need to drip this tear. And suddenly this tear is starting to roll out. And I'm like, no, we don't do that. So as it's rolling, I don't know what came over me, but I wiped it with my hand and I placed that palm on that person's forehead. And as I did that, they instantly burst into tears. So it was almost like I had to shed my own tear to help them release their tears. And it completely freaked me out because I didn't know what to expect, and I never would have thought I would do something like that in my life. But at the same time, afterwards, obviously my tears dried up. There was no others. It was just one single tear. But seeing the release on her made me think, well, maybe there is something to trusting your intuition and this weird, wonderful kind of ability to listen and follow, which still, as I said, freaks me out. And I'm still not always perfect at following because sometimes it's just too much, and that is a little bit much.
Exactly.
I'm just shocked that I've actually just shared that. But anyway,
That's
following your intuition or following even when it's far beyond, your thoughts of what is possible. And I mean, there's a few more of those kind of with working with the body, but, there's been others. And I think I just want to share a few just to make people realize that I might have been doing this for many years and I'm obviously not practicing it now, but I wasn't always that good at following my intuition either, because some of it's just too much and too out there, and why? That's not normal, or who does that? You can argue sometimes with your own thoughts, but in the end it seems that they're right.
Yeah.
And I know there's been some times in my life when I haven't followed some of the thoughts and suggestions, and it doesn't really go that well for me. I've learned that perhaps it is, well, we won't go into some of those stories today, but I certainly have learnt the lesson that it's probably always best to follow that intuition that you get, even when it seems like no, or you're thinking no.
Yeah, exactly. That's who would think to drop a tear on someone's forehead?
I know. I cringe thinking of it even now, and thankfully it hasn't happened since. And yeah, it's just a crazy, I mean, I've got another crazy story for, well, not crazy, but a story that is a little bit cringeworthy for me as such, because I think, how, why? Yeah, I don't understand. But anyway, this story goes back to one of my teachers of hypnotherapy. Actually, he understood that I was an empath and I was able to tune into people's body. In fact, I didn't really understand how well I could tune into someone's body until he showed me under trance by literally directing me, okay, so how about you enter this body? So, and one in particular story was when I went into this man's body. I've never done this before, and he said, just go in and just see what's sort of going on. And I've tuned into this man, and I feel like I leave myself in my mind's eye, and it's almost like the spirit part of me then goes in through the top of the head of this other person. And as I'm gone into this other person, I'm able to almost like move around in spirit form. And I'm able to just sort of, and I don't know whether I was directed by this teacher or not at this point to go around the body and see what I can see, but that's what I started to do. And I started to become aware of the profession of this person, and they were I go to say, this is a very long time ago, but I go to say they were a naturopath or something to that degree, and it would surprise me because I'm thinking this person's a naturopath and should know, have more of a healthier body, I was thinking. But they'd had heart attacks. I could see where they'd had heart attacks and where there was problems in the body, and I felt like they were going to pass away quite soon. And I thought, I can't say this to a person. This is just not possible. And I remember seeing a few other things and kidneys not functioning properly, and I'm thinking, wow, this is really interesting. And then I've come out of the body, I'd probably being directed and then asked to explain what I saw. And I said, I don't know if I really can explain what I saw because I was really hesitant. And I said, are you a naturopath or whatever? I said, I thought it was that profession. And they said, yes. And I said, have you had heart conditions? And they said, yes, I've had 2 heart attacks. And I thought that's what I saw. And then I thought, and I said, do your kidneys not function very well? And then they explained to me how their kidneys weren't functioning very well. Oh, and there was a message as I was leaving their body that said they have the skills and ability to change what's going on in their body, but they're choosing not to, and that's on them. That was the message. And I thought, oh, that's a bit harsh. I don't know if I can say that. But then once they confirmed everything else, I said, well, I guess there's only one thing left that's sort of been said to me, and I said that to them, and they said, you're 100% correct. And I think they died within a month, and they chose to continue drinking soft drink and eating the foods that they were eating that were not good for their body, even though they were given that information. And when my teacher said to me about a month later, oh, such and such died, I actually had a real, he was quite shocked because I said, oh, yeah, I understand. I had a real non-feeling about it. And part of that was just because they knew and I knew. So the emotion was sort of taken out of the fact that they died and I had been with, had done all that with that guy, because it was like, well, we just know that that's part of what was going to happen, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was just another thing that happened that was quite strange and fascinating. And yeah, I mean, look, I could even go into the fact that when I first entered a man's body, how I was very aware of their anatomy, and I thought, oh, that's so different to mine, and I wanted to give you a little bit, but we won't go into that. But yeah, that's the fascinating part of, I didn't even know I had those skills. So, and I didn't even know how I knew to do these things, if that makes sense. It just sort of happened.
Yeah.
And, again, another experience with the same teacher. He had a student that the guides were trying to come through, but they couldn't get the messages or something to that effect, and they asked if I would be a surrogate, basically, and tune in and see if I could tune in to what was going on. And unbeknownst to me that this is even a possibility, let me tell you, because it shocked me, I allow, at that time, that was part of what I did, I allowed spirit limited access to my body. I would actually let them enter me like I entered other people. So this particular spirit entered into me, and I usually give the conditions that they can use finger responses, like a yes and no finger I'll allocate, and they can use my voice is usually when they enter my body. So they'll enter my body and I can feel it. And I feel like my spirit sort of steps to the side because I'm always wanting to be part of it and control it to a degree, and I don't disappear. I'm to the side. I can feel myself sort of almost step to the side in spirit. And as I stepped to the side and this guide entered me, I became aware that they weren't able to use my faculties for breathing. And I suddenly was, And it was like they were trying to use like my neck, like gills on my neck. And I was like, what do I do? Like, I'm gonna pass out. I can't allow this. So it felt like I sort of jumped back into my body. And I know I still had my eyes closed, but I said to the participants, like the teacher and the other person that was there, they're having trouble using, they can't breathe. They're having trouble using my breathing apparatus. I just need to teach them. Give me a minute. And I sort of jumped back to the side. And then again, I was and struggling. And then slowly, I sort of was teaching them from the side position, how to use my lungs. And eventually they came through and breathed and spoke and gave the information. And then I just remember at the end of it coming out and thinking, what just happened? Who does that? Why? Like, I was completely blown away by, is that even a possibility,
Yeah.
And as I said, if it hadn't have happened to me, I honestly would have, like, I even at this time think, who knew? I didn't know that. I just was open and wanted to help this person, and things
Jeez.
happened.
Wow. So with you entering someone else's body, that's a whole nother level of being psychic, isn't it? Really, that's not even, what is that?
I really don't know. I really don't know. I guess I tune in. And there's different levels of tuning in, because you can tune in and obviously read people's minds, like somehow. I choose not to do that now, but that was something I did automatically and didn't realize, and now I stop that. And obviously I've tuned into people's body unintentionally and have felt their pains and not even distinguished with what's mine and what's someone else's. So there's been a journey along the way to cut that off as well as such. But yeah, I wonder if it's like a type of astro travel. I've never really done much astro traveling, but whether it's a element of that. And I guess you can travel anywhere, and moving your spirit to the side. Like, no one's really taught me that. It's just something that happened.
Wow, that's incredible. Like, that's so realistically, there's no hiding secrets from you.
You can, because I'm quite naive. Like, it's unless I'm deliberately tuning into someone these days, like I might get a feeling of that doesn't feel congruent, something, their actions or their, maybe the way they shift or something. But generally I'm sort of pretty gullible and believe whatever comes out of someone's mouth. But if I tuned in, then I obviously would be able to tell the truth if I wanted to, but I don't do that. And I guess more with permission these days, because I was doing it naturally before and not realizing it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't do that. I've got enough of my own. I need to stay in my center to know who I am at the moment. So, yeah.
Wow. So going back to at the beginning, what did you call that type of massage?
It was a psychic massage that I started with. But psychic massage, I mean, yeah, you had your certain movements and so forth, but I guess it was just to realize to trust your intuition for some things. And I don't practice psychic massage anymore. I practice Bowen, and through the Bowen, something similar does come through. It's just more I feel what's going on in their body, and like I say, their body talks to me.
Yeah.
That's sort of how I describe it these days.
So psychic massage is still hands-on massage, or it's not hands-on?
Yeah, it is.
Really?
Hands-on. Yeah.
Wow. I've never heard of that before.
Right. Well,
yeah. So when you said it, I'm like, do you actually touch people, or is that like you're just totally using your intuition to massage their auric field or their energy? Like, I'm just like, what is that?
Well, there certainly is. There is, like, I think, and I can't remember if I've learned these or these are something that's been given to me, where, you do follow like meridian lines of the body, and it's pretty much just, knowing where they are and kind of doing it more on intuition and so forth. The psychic massage was literally a massage technique, so you knew there was a sort of a protocol to follow on the body. It's usually done with powder from memory, in the usual sort of massage form. They're in their underwear or something, but it's not something I practice anymore. And Bowen's done with clothes on, nice, comfy, loose clothing. I think a lot more people feel more comfortable like that.
Yeah.
And you can work through their comfy clothing, and then anything is possible as well. Like intuition obviously still comes out. But I guess it's just, about the ability to channel or be open to what's there. I mean, I can tell you another story about just a meditation group, a ladies' meditation group, and it was a new group of ladies that I had been with, and being new, I was young, we're talking, I was probably in my 20s, and these ladies were more experienced, they'd been in it a lot longer. So it's a little bit more daunting, I think, when you're in a group and you're a learner as such. But,
yeah,
you soon realise, looking back, that my skills and abilities were quite strong then, that, probably I didn't need to have that sense of uncomfortableness that I had, but I'd certainly handle it different today. But we're in a group where we've opened up and did a meditation or whatever, and then it's like, whatever comes through now, just speak. And so there's silence for quite a long time, and then I suddenly hear, I am the planet Jupiter, and I'm thinking, no, what? No, no, you don't channel planets. That's not a thing. No. And no one else is speaking, and then I hear, I am the closest to the proximity of Earth at this time, and I'm like, no, I can't say that. I don't know these people. No, we're not channeling planets. We're channeling people and love and happiness, and I don't know what I was thinking, but it wasn't a planet. No. And then other information's coming through, and I'm thinking, no, and everyone's still silent. I'm thinking, oh, it probably is my turn, and I do have to say this. And I was so uncomfortable. But I'd learned enough of the lessons to know, okay, if it's coming to you, you just got to say it. And as uncomfortable it was, I said, I am the planet Jupiter. And I am the closest to Earth at this time, or proximity to, I can't remember the exact wording. And then they were talking about, the planet was talking about how, what sort of energy they were radiating towards us and why they felt they needed to do this. And I mean, I can't even remember the ins and outs of it as such, but afterwards thinking, whoa, that was just so out there for me. And the first thing I did was go home and Google Jupiter and the planet, because I don't even really interact with planets or know them, or I'm not even a stargazer as such. So, and I Googled it, and I went to my husband, oh my gosh, it says Jupiter is the closest proximity to Earth at this time, and that was the first words that came out. So that freaked me out also, let me tell you.
But that's really good confirmation though, isn't it?
Well, I guess even to this day I'm thinking, but why? Like, why do you a planet, and they're sending us energy, and you think, wow, like we're vibrational beings and doing things all that have the ability to tune into pretty much anything.
Yeah.
We're open channels. If you tune in, like a radio station, they're there, and yeah, I don't know. It's beyond my level of brain capacity is all I can tell you, Michelle.
But it's true. It's so true, though, because, it's always said that we are one with everything. We are connected to everything. And that just doesn't mean, obviously, in your experience, our Earth or the birds and bees,
Clearly.
everything.
Clearly, yeah.
That's incredible. A planet of all things. Wow.
I know. And, Googling it, thank goodness for Google, because otherwise, how would I know? I mean, not that I have to validate everything I hear or see, but as I said, I'm a bit of a skeptic. I'm thinking, no, we don't channel a planet. Like, what? That's not. So, I mean, the ladies loved it, but as I said, it was more my insecurities that made me feel so uncomfortable. But thankfully, with all the other experiences I've had, made me go, okay, we're doing it. I don't want to be doing it, but I'm doing it.
Wow. That's incredible. The whole planet. Oh, it'd be interesting to see or hear what the Earth would have to say if it wanted to come through.
Funnily enough, I did actually channel Mother Earth at one stage, and I was actually with that same girlfriend that I did that psychic massage with. We were I don't know if we were doing a one-on-one. Oh, that's right. Now I remember. We were about to create some products that we were going to make that were all natural, because we had discovered that a lot of what is a natural product, to be honest, if it has, 10% macadamia organic oil, and all the other levels of ingredients are under that 10%, you can call the product organic macadamia, 100% natural, or, organic macadamia nut oil. And the labeling is so deceiving for natural products that we were shocked. And so we were going to develop natural products. And so part of that is if we wanted to talk to Mother Earth, I think it was. That's why we decided to do that. And having known that you can talk to a planet, or maybe I didn't even know. I can't remember if it was before or after. All I know is that at some point, again, it surprised me, but Mother Earth did come through and had a message for the both of us. And I remember being in tears with how in awe I was of the experience, but I can't tell you, which is another thing that is a bit of a phenomenon that happens sometimes. You don't remember all the details afterwards because you're in such a level of trance or whatever. I think most of it's from what my friend told me rather than me remembering it.
Yeah.
But I just remember the feeling of that, a bit like when you've had a near-death experience and you feel those overwhelming feelings of love, or I don't know. As I said, as an empath, I get a lot of feeling, and there's no words to describe those feelings necessarily.
Yeah, beyond the human experience and vocabulary.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Wow. That's remarkable. And that's, it makes me wonder if everyone had the ability to feel the earth, how much would change?
Well, that changed a lot for me in that experience, I remember. And then we went on to make 100% natural products.
Yeah.
And I stopped making, which I would like to get into making them again at some stage, and I probably will when I have more time on my hands. But people had healing from those products, and it's not anything that anyone could have they could have used those same ingredients and made them for themselves. I mean, obviously we put our love and our energy and intention into those products when we made them. And we would get feedback from people of how that cream healed, their eczema or psoriasis or something that they'd had for years. And there's no explanation as to why that did that other than, we had channeled Mother Earth, and we did our intention was to create great products that were natural and in line and all of that sort of good vibes that were put into it. So
because there is something to be said for intention, isn't there? And people don't, some people do, but there's a lot of people that don't understand how powerful intention is.
Absolutely. And another thing, word magic, word magic, I call word magic because we use words without really realizing what we're saying. Sometimes it could be a slang, or it's like even, for instance, Aussies have a habit of saying, oh, I'm not bad, rather than saying I'm good today and things like that. And just another quick story is I used to always take holidays and go to my parents' town when I was in my 20s, because I always wanted to take the month off to be near the sun. And this particular time in my business that I had at the time, I couldn't take the month of January off because we had too many staff away. So I missed out on my January holidays. So I said, I've got to have February holidays. But one thing after another, I didn't get February holidays. And I was saying constantly to anyone who would listen, come March, I'm having a break. I don't care what is going on. I'm having a break. I need a break. Come March the 1st, I'm having a break. Like, that was how my language was at the time. But I had not actually booked anything or created that space for myself in the computer as such with my holidays. But I just kept saying I'm having a break. So March 1st comes, I'm at work, and I go home and watching a movie at night time. I got up to do something, tripped over my husband's boots at the front door and broke my ankle. And there was my break.
Oh, you're kidding. Literally.
I got 6 weeks break.
Mending a break.
I hadn't planned for it, but apparently I had. And then I started to realise the power of words, and I did have intention behind those words. I meant it. I wanted a break. It just wasn't quite. And I guess that's why, if you're going to say something, you should probably work out what it is that you mean behind that. I didn't actually plan that break, but somehow I did.
Wow, that's incredible.
Word magic and manifestation another time, I think.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my gosh. And it sort of goes back to the old saying of be careful what you wish for.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
I learned that lesson the hard way.
Yeah. Oh, wow. That's incredible. Look, thank you so much, Emilia, for being on the show. That's just a whole bunch of wow in itself. It's like one story after the other. It's just like so much confirmation, validation. You've not just had these experiences, but they've manifested in some form of, like you said, Googling Jupiter and literally getting your break, literally, in more ways than one. That's just incredible, absolutely incredible. I look forward to having you back on the show very, very soon. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much. And at another time, I'll tell you how I healed that break, because that's another story in itself. Because having worked with the body and Bowen and so forth, I thought, we can fix this body. We can heal this. And that is a story in itself, because I went in there not realizing how I was going to do it, but the outcome was pretty phenomenal. So we'll talk about that another time.
Wow.
But thanks for having me. I love sharing my stories and love being in your presence and having a fun time.
Thank you so much, Emilia, and I look forward to having you back again soon. Thanks for joining me at the Medium's Table. The universe is always speaking. Listen and let your spirit soar. Curious for more? Click on one of the videos below and remember to subscribe.